Okay. So getting back to this, resuming the stream, we've got our we got our guy here. So I was talking a little bit about. I'm not sure we're kind of bailed out of me here, but talking about this kind of doing like a bronzy kind of standout for the face of this guy here. So should be pretty cool. Yeah, welcome back, guys. Sorry, the computer decided it was time to not work and do the stream. So funny enough. All right. So again, yeah, just the energy's coming off this guy, really solid. And I'm really liking the fact that this guy just draws the dudes in, just this like a moth to the flame. So it's there's these two elements kind of going on with the army where they're drawing people in with this light, this kind of pure light, and they draw them in like moths, and then they imprison their souls just as these souls come drifting off the battlefield. And I think that's pretty neat mechanic, all things being equal. So very cool. All right, sweet. Let's move on now. After the Spirit Torment here, we're going to move on to Night of Shrouds. Now, the Night of Shrouds, if I switch cameras over here, the Night of Shrouds is probably the A-frame or A-grade model that I really wanted to see in this kit, for sure. I'm really digging the fact that this guy's got this this mount. Of course, mounted guys are always cool, but it's like a mounted ram, which is kind of neat. And he's got these other pieces, and all the stuff is beeping and blooping as the computer has resumed itself, getting updates and all that. So, pardon me. Anyways, the Night of Shrouds here is a really sweet looking model, and the rules. He's got this steed, which is pretty cool. Very in-depth music, very good. On the bleakest nights of the human soul, the Night of Shrouds ride at the head of a massed gathering of undead. Their disembodied voices ring out over the moans of the deceased, even as they steal the lives from their foes. Hooray! So this guy moves about 12 inches here. He's got 6 wounds, so he's got a little bit more than the other characters, which is nice. He's got a bravery of 10 and a save of 4+. Now, I'm assuming he's ethereal, which he is, which is nice. So that 4+ is a standard, which is solid, which is really, really good. He can fly, very nice. And he's got this Stolen Hours. So I allocate wounds inflicted by this model's Sword of Stolen Hours before allocating the wounds inflicted by the Ghostly Hooves and Teeth. Each time a wound inflicted by the Sword of Stolen Hours slays an enemy hero, heal 1 wound that has been allocated to this model. So he is very much a Lord of the Rings Wraith King, where he's going along and he's stealing their souls, which is pretty sweet. Lord of the Geists. Each Knight of Shrouds was a mighty general in mortal life and still retains the ability to spur those under their command. OBS says disconnected and reconnected, despite the fact that the stream is doing well. Look at me go. You can use this command ability at the start of your combat phase. If you do so, pick a friendly Nighthaunt unit that's wholly within 18 inches. So within 36 inches, you got to grab everything. I can add 1 to the attack's characteristics of that unit's melee weapons in the combat phase. So I can get an extra attack off this guy. Off of my Spirit Torment, I can... Oh, that's the regeneration guy. Grimghast Reapers. Where was he? Anyways, I can do the +1 to the wound, to the 2 hits or whatever of the the Guardian of Souls, and so this guy here I can heal, add 1 to the attack's characteristic. So you can really boot things up a little bit. And again, if you have this guy going behind your horde of chumps and they've got 2 attacks each, you're dealing 3 attacks with the rerolls of the 1s. It can get a little crazy. So you can amp them up in the same way that you traditionally can with the undead as well. Very cool. Very nice. All right. So let's check out the model. Now, this model is nuts. He is this massive monster of a model, and he's huge. Like if you look at any of the other guys, and I'll bring in my Skaven do. Like he's just this big epic model, and I just really think it's really neat. Like he's got this massive steed here. It's got this. It's got the skull of the steed is in there, which is really, really cool. You've got, this little bits of bone, and he just fades into this ethereal thing. So it's almost like he's in reality when he's like chomping and biting and kicking. the arm of this guy, but there's like nothing in the body. It's just the arms and the head and this kind of soul just bleeding off. A classic undead, massive vampire-y type sword going on. And the ribs, and just the way it kind of reveals some of the soul going through, and you got the ribs, just a little bit of structure to kind of hold him up, to bear that weight. Very cool. This guy isn't shackled, he isn't belled or anything. This guy wants to be here. And he's got his chainmail armor all rocking through here. He's got his really sweet kind of helmet going on with these big kind of bat wings coming off the back, but they're all these beaten bronze or, you know, kind of beaten iron. Very cool. Just awesome to see these guys here. Anyway, I love the effects, like the tail swishing, just the energy pouring off of this guy, and I mean it's intimidating when you first put it together. So yeah, really, really cool. All right, very nice. Just double checking on the stream health here. Video output low. It says I'm pushing out at 60 frames, so I'll have to see how it ends up in the end. Now finally we've got our Lord Executioner here. Alright. Seems like it's coming together a little bit now. Let's cancel this one here. Alright, so let's look at our Lord Executioner. So this guy is kind of a neat one as well. I mean, he's obviously an executioner. He's got the hooded face, and he's got that big kind of hangman's noose coming off the top of him. I bet you he's really good at word games. And he's got these souls kind of orbiting around him as well, which is kind of cool. All right. Now, he's got a 6-inch move. He flies like all the rest of them. He's also ethereal, like the rest of them, which is kind of nice. And he's got 5 wounds like every other character, and he's got a bravery of 10 and a save of 4+. So again, that kind of that ethereal component to it is really nice to see. That we've got this things in here that, you know, just keeps that 4+ to 4+. So standard. To witness the Lord Executioner is to stare death in the face, sent to claim the lives of those who have escaped the cold justice of Shish. The spirits of the wrongfully executed drift around him, crying out their anguish into the night. So he grabs them, kills them, and then they haunt him, but he thinks it's cool. That's badass. That's pretty awesome. The cutting edge of a Lord Executioner's axe is razor sharp, and they can be used to slice the head clean from a foe's body. So he's got his big Executioner's axe swinging around there. If a wound roll for a decapitating great axe is a 6+, add 2 to the damage characteristics of the weapon for the attack. So he'll be putting out 3 damage. So he's a character hunter for sure. Staring death in the face. At the start of the combat phase, you can pick an enemy hero within 3 inches of this model. Subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by the hero in that combat phase. It's like he knows his time is up, which is pretty sweet. Disembodied skulls. The spirits that swirl around the Lord Executioners preserve his existence from threats. Roll a d6 each time this model suffers a mortal wound. On a 5+, the spirits get in the way, and it is negated. That is something else. Yeah, Gustad, it seems like we're running into issues. How's the stream now? We'll see how that goes. All right. So right now we've got this on a 5+, the wound is negated, which is nice. So he's got that kind of disgustingly resilient type thing. He's got a beheading strike, which is kind of neat. And he just makes heroes really intimidated. So this guy is in every way a hero hunter, which I think is pretty cool. Especially when you start pulling, subtracting 1 from the hit rolls for attacks made by a hero in the combat phase. So he's a good way to kind of protect your guys from getting heroed out. Especially since we can go in there, and I think it was with the Spirit Torment guy. I'm trying to remember now. It was one of the other hero there, where they can basically take that the Reapers with the Death Knell. They can throw the damage back out maybe at that hero as well, which is kind of cool. So not the most craziest of overpowering guys, but he's a bit of a tank, and he goes after the big guy. So, you know, if you got a single model, every time you roll a 6 off of those 3 attacks, you can do some serious damage. And depending on who you're hanging out with, you might get 4 attacks in that deal. Yeah, pretty cool, pretty neat. All right. Let's check this guy out here. All right. So this guy he's pretty tall, and again he's super tall. If I bring in another one of our little Skaven friends here, like he's insanely tall compared to him. So it's this big standing structure with these souls kind of orbiting all around. Very nice to see that you've got this kind of, I don't know, he's just a really bright model himself. Now, if you want to talk kind of like stable, unstable, look at this. It's all kind of pinned together off of that axe. He's being held up by these ethereal energies. But still, he's got this executioner's hood in here. He's got his, you know, beat up executioner's axe. Very nice and grim for sure. Like absolutely grim. You know, he wants to hang people and he wants to execute people, but he's got to bring it along with him. He's a bit like a snail. You know what I mean? You got to bring this along with him so he can, he can hang people as he goes. You know, he's got the axe, he's got the noose. It's really all about just being cash about, whatever your approach is. Just kind of going with the flow for the day. No weights, no chains on this guy. No mesh armor, nothing like that. He's got his souls to protect him, these captured souls, and he's constantly harvesting more. Very neat in terms of idea and kind of principle. And the model itself, you can see he's a little floppy and bouncy, and you'll get that, I'm sure, as you're moving around. So again, this is not an army you want to treat super rough while you're taking it around on the battlefield, but just a really neat looking model. And having an executioner in there, like harvesting the souls, is pretty sweet in my books anyway. Okay, so that is kind of our last one. I might do the plastic roundup here just to get everything in one space to see what you get. He's still wobbling. Look at this. It's crazy. And as an army, I think just from a sheer presentation point of view, it's going to be beautiful to paint. Like, it's going to be really neat to see as we move forward. I'm really looking forward to painting these guys. Like, this is my main draw of the box. I really like the Stormcast guys. I like that they've got more kind of energy and kind of they've got more kind of embellishments and stuff to them. But I think the big A game in this box is going to be the Nighthaunt models, which is really, really cool. And again, just be careful when you're managing these guys. I don't know if these guys are even going to make it into my G-Dub case. I might just end up carrying them as regular dudes. But the plastic that you get in these models are in these kits are just great. Like, I mean, the Stormcast was basically a whole army, and I find that the same thing is going to be applying to these Nighthaunt guys as well. It's just a massive army worth of guys. And so now I got to put the other 20 in. So as I'm collecting these all together, my first impressions are obviously very, very much digging the models. The rules are pretty cool. There's so much going on with all these guys. I'm still putting models down. I just want to show you guys all the plastic you get in this box. It's absolutely crazy as I knock guys down. I'm going to get in and around the camera. No, really neat. All right. Did I get them all in? Got them all in. There we go. So that's it for the Nighthaunt review. There was a pile of technical issues and a bunch of bleeps and blurps there. Sorry about that. That's obviously stuff that when the computer decides to do its thing, the computer decides to do its thing. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. This has been a blast to put together. It's been a little bit of a production crap show, but there it is. But no, it was really neat, again, assembling them, putting them all together. Now, in the Stormcast assembly, I suggested taking the pins out. I wouldn't do that with these guys. They actually, the pins themselves, those push-fit pieces, they actually end up representing a good chunk of what's going on in terms of holding the models together. So I would keep the pins in there and maybe clamp them or just be patient and work your way through. But awesome army, awesome value. You get a full army in there, which is nice to see. And then, of course, with the Nighthaunt book, they're going to be adding all kinds of characters as we go. So, let me just take the time to say thanks a lot for watching, guys. I know there's some technical issues, but if you liked the video, hit that like button. Please, please, please. It just jab the hell out of it. It adds a ton of value to me because it gets the video out there, it gets the channel out there, and kind of helps me be a little bit more successful, which is great. If you want more videos like this, the subscribe button is right there if you haven't subscribed already, and there's a little bell that's right beside it. And if you want notifications on all your apps and devices when we do streams and things like that, waiting for summer to be over so I can get back to a regular schedule here and get a regular schedule of streaming started. We're going to be starting to schedule some games of Kill Team and some games of Age of Sigmar and maybe some skirmish in that as well. Just these nice kind of pop-in, pop-out lunchtime type things. I'll have a bunch of guests kind of coming on the channel, and it should be a lot of fun. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope it was of huge value, and we'll catch you in the next video.